What's up guys? Welcome to Veldora-sensei. For today's video we will review the part 2 of volume 11 chapter 1 of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Without further ado, let's proceed with the video. Misha then ordered the maid to refresh everyone's tea. How are things doing on the boss's side, by the way? After finishing his tea, Laplace inquired. Yuki nodded to Laplace as he took a drink of black tea from his cup. I'm still a little on edge about the entire affair with Chloe, but I suppose I'll go over it again later. Let's get right to the point. As he began to recollect what he had been up to, a smile appeared on his face. Yuki was in the midst of a huge engagement, while Laplace and the others were engaged facing Demon Lord Leon. Their contact was a Western nation's behind-the-scenes monarch. They were debating how to cope with the fallout from Mariabelle's misadventures. As you are well aware, I was acting as though Mariabelle was manipulating me. As a result, she inevitably absorbed the most of the blame. Was it the situation with which boss had to deal? You're correct. It was impossible for me to flee to the Eastern Empire since I was being managed. I suppose you have a point. That is correct. It would obviously be suspicious. By the way, when I sought to seize the power of greed, it was a tremendous gamble. But I was focused on the more vital task of assassinating Mariabelle. It wouldn't be unusual if I strolled about freely now that she's gone. Apart from cementing my position, I also had the opportunity to bargain directly with the Rosso family's great elder Granbelle. Yuki had set her sights on Mariabelle. He had to deceive Mariabelle in order to prevent fully losing his grip in the Western nations. His work resulted in the turmoil that occurred some time ago. Yuki was free once more now that Mariabelle had been taken care of. Even the most heinous of his crimes were eventually passed on to Mariabelle. He just stated that he was following her directions. Things were proceeding according to Yuki's plan. Mariabelle had been defeated and Yuki had acquired even more strength. He also managed to reach an agreement with Granbelle. He overheard something fascinating during their conversation, which is why he called everyone together today. Alright then, let me get to the point. Before we move east, we have one last assignment to accomplish. Everyone appeared to be taken aback by the news. Yuki's face became more serious as he looked around at his audience. Pay attention now. I'm going to go through everything in detail right away. Yuki began telling about his meeting with Granbelle. What a serene scene. Since returning to Tempest's capital, or more generally known as Rimuru, I've been busy every day. Mariabelle was definitely dead, I knew it. When the dust had subsided, I directed personnel to explore the remains, but no corpse or valuables were discovered. She most likely killed in the explosion that occurred when she self-detonated the engine reactor, as Yuki said, or perhaps it was all a ruse. Regardless, the issue had been handled, and all issues had been resolved. Mariabelle was the Sultrasso Kingdom's princess. The princess assaulted us in the ruins, and if we told everyone about it, it would only make things worse. That is why we covertly called the Sultrasso Kingdom and explained the situation as an unfortunate accident. Because neither country wanted the event to be in the public view, we were able to negotiate it all. We were both well aware of the consequences, which explains our frank collaboration. When it came to monarchy with profound historical roots, there were always plenty of accidents. We came to an arrangement fast and avoided more dispute. Their king and queen seemed to be merciless and nasty. Mariabelle's desire to rely on information from her prior life was understandable given her parents. Would she have turned out any differently if she had the opportunity to start a fresh life as an innocent child? That was really an afterthought, as previously said. Let's take a look at the 5 great elders right now. Granbelle Rosso, the chief of the Rosso family, was the head of the 5 great elders and the one who instigated Mariabelle. I was on the edge of my seat, expecting him to be scheming something, but that was not the case. That, I guess, was the correct decision. If he had intervened in any manner, it would have been a public recognition of their criminal activities. They wouldn't be able to accomplish anything if we remained silent as well. In reality, it had been almost a month since the incident. Granbelle had been deafeningly silent the entire time. Despite the short vacation, we had plenty of time. We were able to get knowledge on the Western nations' underbelly thanks to information gathered by Sao. We realized that the Rosso family posed the greatest threat. We identified other groups that we had to keep an eye on, such as their amicable ties with the mercenary band Apostles of Vert. It was unclear, however, if my objectives and interests were in direct contradiction with theirs. We had no motive to respond until they publicly announced a hostile stance toward us. I didn't want to cause any problems for myself. For the time being, all we needed to do was watch their every move. Furthermore, we had a solid working relationship with the Freedom Association. Our donor was likewise the Western Holy Church. It wasn't unrealistic to believe that there shouldn't be a single organization in the world that would dare to stand in our way. As a result, Tempest became the Western Council's largest group. It was already mid-afternoon, and everything was quiet. We convened a meeting of the executives, as is customary. We have almost completely replaced the 5 great elders in a short period of time. That's probably why a whole new set of difficulties came out of nowhere, most likely as a direct result of their absence. The Western Council definitely played a significant effect in guiding the Western nations' actions. Each nation's councillors would vote inside the council to determine if a motion carried person not. The number of councillors a country possessed determined the diplomatic weight of its statements. Our councillor will have to play the role of mediator now that we know the vulnerabilities of each nation on the council. As our influence over Western nations expanded, so did the number of complaints and petitions from other countries. It was as if they were saying, "It won't cost you your life simply because you have an opinion," which encouraged individuals to make all kinds of requests. It was for this reason that conquering the world was a fool's errand. It was certainly not simple to be a monarch. It was understandable why the other demon lords were uninterested in other people's lands. If they were to obtain an impoverished piece of land by mistake, they would have to find out a means to appease the local inhabitants. Reducing the wealth disparity was simple to talk about in principle, but it was a challenging task for the person in charge of the issue. And that's it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. See you on my next video.